Well, hi, BookTube. Bill Ruttenberg here with the Ruttenberg Library. Want to come to you today with a book haul. I last weekend got to go to a garage sale, a rather large garage sale. It was actually at one of the local churches, and their entire downstairs of their church was completely filled with everybody's stuff, and it was like a fundraiser. So anyway, you could take a grocery bag, like the paper grocery bags, fill it for $5, whatever you could get in it. And so, of course, as we're going through, they had one room that was full of books. And so I grabbed a handful of books that I wanted to share with you. Thought I did quite well. I probably paid maybe $1 for all of these, considering how big the paper bag would have been, the space it would have taken up. So I'm guessing about $1, maybe $1.50 for these. So you just let me know what you think of these. I think I did very, very well for what I got. So let me show you. So if you follow the channel, you know one of my favorite classic books of all time is Robinson Crusoe. It's about a man who is shipwrecked onto an island, onto a deserted island, or mostly deserted anyway, and he has to figure out how to live and how to not get ate by the cannibals who are on some of the other local islands that are near him. But anyway, I have a whole collection of these and different copies, and so I found this. This is from Airmont Books and from New York, and this copy is a 1963 copy. And honestly, I can't even remember when this was originally done. The original Robinson Crusoe story is pretty old, but anyway, here's the copy that I found. It does have a little bit of a hole right there in the cover, but other than that, the book is in really good shape, other than this little mark right there. But was very pleased to find this. I did not have this particular edition in my collection. So yeah, so starting it off with paperbacks. So here's some more paperbacks that I found. Recently, back in March, I read my very first Agatha Christie book, and then there were none. And also has the title 10 Little Indians. But anyway, I read that book. It's supposed to be like the best mystery of all time, or a lot of people consider it that. And so I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed Agatha Christie's writing. And so I found these paperbacks of Agatha Christie. This is 13 Clues for Miss Marple. So that's a part of the Miss Marple series. Again, I have not read any of the other Agatha Christie books. I hope to do that this summer. This is a Dell book, and it is from, this printing is 1975. This was originally done, I believe, in 1966, if I'm reading that page correctly. But this is, let me read a short description here. A man spilling out his life's blood on the doorstep of a church. A mysterious phrase gasped out from dying lips. A strange legacy that led its heirs to ruin. A beautiful woman with a haunting secret in her past. A brother and sister caught in a web of evil that extended from England to the continent. A bouquet of lovely flowers that spelled hideous death. All were clues in a bizarre labyrinth of crime where every turn was marked by a murder, and every sign pointed in the wrong direction. For everyone, that is, except the world's most unusual detective, the amazing Miss Marple. And so I have some other Miss Marples down there, so I found that, thought I would pick that up. And of course, like I said, these paperbacks were in pretty good shape, and I always like the artwork on the paperbacks, so picked a few of these up. Here's another Agatha Christie. This is Third Girl. And this paperback is Pocketbooks, and it is 1976. It looks like it was originally printed in 67. And if you can tell here, try not to tear the cover up too bad, but those are all Agatha Christie books. There's a bunch in the series that she has written. So let me read the back of this. This will be short and sweet. It says, Agatha Christie is the author of more than 80 novels and story collections. Her books have sold well over 400 million copies and have established her fame worldwide as the foremost mystery writer of our time. And so the description from the New York Times Book Review, a young girl who can't remember committing murder finds herself with a compelling motive in a blood-stained knife. Yeah, so we'll see where that goes. Next one is another, like I said, Agatha Christie. This is the last of the Agatha Christie books that I picked up. This is Murder at Hazelmoor. There's your rest of it. This is a Dell book, again, from 1976. Excuse me. And this one says, Captain Trevelyan had been a pillar of the community, but now that pillar had come tumbling down. His life had seemed an open book, but the monstrously unnatural manner of his death revealed shockingly unsuspected chapters. What was the truth about the beautiful widow and her daughter who lived in the captain's manor house? Why did the captain's sister respond with such chilling indifference to his demise? Why did his nephew seem so willing to go to jail for a slaying he almost surely did not commit? Inspector Narracott of the local police had to find the answers, even though they might make a peaceful English town explode in scandal and shame. So that sounded like that was going to be fun. The next two paperbacks are for this month. In one day anyway. The June on the Range. Here's my problem, June on the Range. Everybody's reading Westerns during the month of June. And I really wanted to participate. The only problem is I have a whole stack of books that I have been reading over the last couple months that I really badly need to, read down, get through them, and finish them. But I figured these books are short enough that I could probably read these in an afternoon or two. And like today, it's supposed to be rainy. I won't start today because today's May 31st. Can't start till June, or shouldn't start till June. But if we get another day like this, I will read these in the afternoon when it's dark and gloomy and good for reading and napping. But I picked up two Westerns for June on the Range. This first one's by Max Brand, pretty famous Western writer. And it's Steve Train's Ordeal. And I really like the artwork on that. I thought it was pretty cool. And this is like I said, a short little volume. It says, Outlaw Country. Steve Train was no stranger to crime, but now he was up against the riskiest deal of his danger-packed life. He'd been hired to deliver $50,000 to Jim Nair, the meanest killer in the Southwest. He'd also promised to split that fortune with John Rainier, who'd helped him set up the deal. Now, as that money burned a hole in his pocket, he found himself pursued by the law, the double-crossed Rainier, and the deadlier Nair. Train must face his own reckless past, but first he must fight the only man who's ever matched his nerve and skill with a pair of Colts. The odds are murderous, and the law will hang the winner and bury the loser. So I thought that sounded fun. These are also, Max Brand's another prolific writer, as you could see on his deal there. This is from Pocket Books out of New York, and it is originally 1924, but this one's a 1952 copy. They had a whole stack of these at that garage sale, whole stack of Westerns, but most of them were not in great shape, and I'd have had to take a lot of tape to fix them up to make them readable. And so I just picked up a couple of them that were in decent shape. This next one is by Luke Short, and it's called The Stalkers. And I thought that was another cool cover. You can always get awesome covers with Westerns. Now, this book, you'll notice it does have a pretty bad crease on the front cover where it's been opened, but I can work around that. The rest of the book is very solid. The spine is all in good shape. It will last another reading. This is from, let's see. This is a Bantam book, and originally 1973. This is a 1979 copy, and very short introduction here. Read that. Finished the job. Marshal Tim Sefton swore he'd flush Junior Constable's wild bunch out of the country. Then Junior bushwhacked him, leaving the marshal bleeding, a bucket of blood, and forgetting his mission. But Junior remembered, and he and his boys would finish the marshal off unless he snapped back to his senses and strapped on his guns. So, very short description there. It says it was the winner of the Special Western Heritage Trustee Award. So anyway, that's going to be one of them I read. And again, these are really short. I should be able to get through them in an afternoon, maybe two. 149 pages. This other one was, 184 pages. So they're, just typical Westerns, very short. So I'm going to partake in those in June on the Range. I really wanted to read Lonesome Dove with everybody, but that's a big book, and I've got a lot of other big books going right now. So maybe I could do that one next year. But anyway, I got 4 more books here in the stack, and these are all history related. The first one is The Minutemen and Their World by Robert Gross. And, exactly what it says in the title. This is a American Revolution history from the American Century series from Hill and Wang out of New York. And it's originally 1976. This is the 19th printing, 1986. And so, it's about the battles of Lexington, Concord, that time period. It says the Bancroft Prize winner in 1977. So I'm really looking forward to this. I like anything that, deals with the American Revolution. It's also got a couple of blurbs on the back from Michael Zuckerman and David Hackett Fisher. You can't go wrong when you get one from David Hackett Fisher. But anyway, looking forward to that. This next book that I found, I want to thank Steve Donahue for this, because he has brought this author's name up several times, and I don't believe I have any of his books, and it made me feel inadequate as a American history book collector. But this is from Kenneth Roberts, and it is Rabble in Arms, and I absolutely love the cover. Now, the cover of this is in rough shape. It's got a tear there. It's got a tear right across there. There's our author. But the book itself, if you look at the binding, the binding is all super tight. It's in really good shape. So other than the dust jacket itself, I think it's a pretty good pickup. It's also got really neat end papers. Maps for the end papers there on both of the front and back. And so really, this is going to be good. And I'm excited to partake in this. A lot of it just because of how Steve Donahue talks up this book quite a bit. So from Doubleday and Company Incorporated out of Garden City, and it is a 1947 book, originally 1933. This is, excuse me, I take that back. This is a 1955 book, originally 1933. So anyway, it's not rare by any means, but I am very, very excited to read it. I'll read the cover to you here right fast. It says, of all the writers who have chronicled the stirring events of America's early history, none has brought that exciting and important era to life with such vigor and vividness as Kenneth Roberts. His magnificent series of historical novels have been taken to the hearts of America. Rabble in Arms is more than a great story. It is accurate and informative history, thrillingly told. It should be read by every American who appreciates the importance of having a clear picture of this country's origin. And besides, this superb novel is rich in humor and makes crystal clear campaigns and battles that have baffled many a Western pointer. How the ill-equipped, almost hopelessly outnumbered Continentals managed to stave off a two-pronged invasion from Canada and New York. How they built the first American Navy on Lake Champlain in a desperate speed-up operation, and finally brought decisive defeat to Burgoyne's proud forces at Saratoga is told absorbingly. Against this turbulent background is the poignant love story of Captain Peter Merrill and the charming Ellen Phipps, a romance nearly wrecked by the beautiful and unscrupulous Marie de Sabrevois, who was a British spy, and by unpredictable fortunes of war. The recreation of the character of General Benedict Arnold has been widely acclaimed by some America's greatest military and naval leaders as a heroic chronicle of the struggle for the ideals of liberty against heartbreaking odds. Rabble in Arms is, as one reviewer insisted, destined to take permanent place in the great literature of war of all times. Yep, so here's my question. So now I'm starting to question, is this fiction or nonfiction? Maybe this is a fictional account. Maybe I have that wrong. I was thinking it was a nonfiction. So maybe this is fiction. But anyway, he has spoke about this. I probably should have paid better attention, but that's okay. So look forward to getting into that. Another one, this is a paperback, The Shattering of the Union, America in the 1850s by Eric H. Walter. And real excited about that. This is my favorite era of American history to learn about. And this is from the American Crisis series, books on the Civil War era. I have one or two others in my collection, and I really enjoyed them. But this is going to hit, I've kind of flipped through, just quickly flipped through. It hits all of the highlights of the 1850s, all of the big name things like Dred Scott and, let's see here, the Dred Scott, the Kansas issue, Charles Sumner and his beatdown that he took in Congress. There's Lane and Henry Ward Beecher. So I mean, it hits all of the big things that happened during this time period. There's something on Hannibal Hamlin. You got Stephen Douglas in here. The Kansas-Nebraska Act, 1854. So I am going to enjoy this. I don't know if everybody would enjoy that, but I am definitely going to enjoy it. And then last but not least, what is a book haul without a book on baseball? And so my last one that I found in there, and I was very, very pleasantly surprised, it's a biography on one of the greatest closers baseball has ever had. And this is Mariano Rivera, or excuse me, it's called The Closer, My Story by Mariano Rivera with Wayne Coffey. And so I remember when this came out on the shelves, and I really badly wanted to buy this book. I read the first couple chapters while my wife was shopping at Walmart, but I hate paying full price for books, as you know. And so I was kind of glad because I found it for dirt cheap at the garage sale. And I'll read the back cover, and then we'll wrap this all up. It says, he is the man who has intimidated thousands of batters merely by opening a bullpen door. Mariano Rivera is also a man of God and family whose contributions to charity and community ensure a meaningful legacy long after his time as the closer is over. Now he tells his story in this widely acclaimed runaway bestseller, the championships, the bosses, including the boss, the rivalries, and the struggles of being a Latino baseball player in the United States and of maintaining values in professional athletics. His drive to win, the secrets behind his legendary composure, and what it's like to run up to the mound with the game or the season squarely on his shoulders. It's all here in one of the most memorable sports stories of our time. And of course, it says Mariano Rivera was a New York Yankee for 19 seasons. He is Major League Baseball's all-time saves and ERA leader, a 13-time All-Star, and a 5-time world champion. He and his wife, Clara, have 3 sons and live in New York. So anyway, I started reading this book when I was in Walmart. Obviously did not finish it. Enjoyed it. I'm thoroughly excited to see, the whole book. So anyway, that is the garage sale book haul, booktube. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, I probably paid no more than $1.50 because it was $5 a bag, and this didn't take up all that much room in the grocery sack. So, tell me what you think. Have you read any of these? Did you enjoy any of these? So I hope everybody's getting a lot of reading in. I hope you're going to partake in June on the Range. I know I'm going to with just my 2 short books, and then I've got also, like I said, those 3 Agatha Christie's that I don't know if I'm going to try to read them this summer or save them for March Mystery Madness. I'm not sure, but I have them anyway. So until next time, BookTube, I hope everyone has a great day. I hope you're enjoying your reading experience. Happy reading.